Welcome to the latest edition of Coda's Plugging Away podcast. I am delighted today to be meeting with my good friend Nina from Havtil in Norway. Nina, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yes, I am Nina Ringøen, and I am leading the sector task within plugging and abandonment in drilling and well technology in Havtil. So I've been in Havtil since 2017, actually.
So Havtil, what's for those not familiar or familiar with the name, but maybe not so familiar with the work, can you explain a little about where they fit in the whole equation?
So Havtil is the Norwegian Ocean Industry Authority, and we were former known as the Petroleum Safety Authority. And we are both a directorate, which means that we gather knowledge about the industry, and we are also a supervisory authority, which means that we do audits. So I think it's the last part we are the most known for, or most famous about, you can say, because we do audits of the companies or the industry. And in Norway, we have this Norwegian model, which is based upon openness, transparency, and trust. And that means when we do audits, we publish our reports and we share our findings with the public.
So a very transparent organization making sure that the industry is doing the right things and sharing the knowledge in terms of what you're learning and what they're showing you as well from when they do the right things.
Yeah, so the reason for why we are making these reports public is that we do not want other companies to kind of repeat the same errors or kind of learn from each other.
Yep. Learn the good, learn the bad, repeat the good, don't do the bad again.
Exactly.
Very good. So your role then within Havtil is around the wells?
Yes, so I work in the drilling and well technology department. So we are approximately 19-20 people there. And at the moment I work both with CCS projects, so CCS wells, and also leading the task force with respect to plugging and abandonment. So it's quite a broad kind of diversity of tasks in our group, since we are covering the Norwegian Continental Shelf and all the wells we have there.
So from a quantity perspective then, what does the Norwegian Continental Shelf look like as far as well count and I guess the point in the life cycle of those wells in terms of, you've got production wells, you've got exploration wells, and then you've got what we would refer to as suspended wells. What does that look like at the moment for here?
At the moment, it looks like we have approximately 2,200 wells that are either active or shut in, suspended. And we did a count in our knowledge gathering in 2024, which showed us that approximately 20% of those 2,200 wells are actually suspended or inactive wells. And that means that those wells are either on the kind of plan to be permanent plugged and abandoned, or they are going to be recompleted or reused. So it's an exciting kind of time area we are in at the moment, because it looks like there will be more permanent plugging and abandonment going forward now in the next kind of 5 to 7 years, and then from then on, I guess it's said that the production will decline on the Norwegian Continental Shelf, and we know that we have to prepare for this upcoming wave of permanent plugging and abandonment activity.
But even if production doesn't decline that quickly, there will still be wells that need to be permanently plugged, the same as you're drilling new wells for, to bring in production elsewhere.
Yes, exactly. There will be wells that will be permanent plugged and abandoned now in the coming years. At the same time, there will be new wells drilled, also new exploration wells and also some development wells. So, also Norway is still kind of producing well. So we can't say that we have reached the kind of era of decommissioning yet, but we see that it might happen in 5 to 10 years time.
We hear a lot about technologies for well plug and abandonment, both in terms of traditional technologies, cements and so forth, as well as some of the new technologies and new barrier materials. How are you seeing that starting to evolve, I guess, through what you're experiencing?
I think that's a very important kind of area with respect to permanent plugging and abandonment, because we all know that permanent plugging and abandonment will be a cost for the operators and also for the Norwegian society. So we are all kind of, I'm saying all, also the industry is working very hard now to come up with new solutions or new technology that can make the P&A operations more efficient, and also then to save some cost. And our role in that kind of picture will be to make sure that the operations are still carried out in a robust and safe manner. So that's kind of an interesting process that's ongoing, and we have also seen also during the last 10 years that it's taking time to qualify new technology.
It does. We say in certainly in Australia that there's a race to be second. There's a lot of clever technologies out there, but often we find that people want to see someone else use it first before they themselves will take it on, and that's a perennial challenge. I think it's not just in the P&A space. I think it's right across industry that new technologies come through, and particularly where they are safety or process operational related. There's always it's always more comfortable to do it the way you've done it before, which can make it really challenging for new technologies to come through.
Exactly, and we see the same, that also some operators, they are reluctant to take the time to test out new technology offshore, because that will kind of prolong the ongoing operation. Also, operators have to justify that they need to increase the budget for kind of an test in a slot recovery operation or a development well. And even in permanent P&A, it can be hard to test out new technology. But during the last 10 years, also, we have been able to also to bring forward, especially the perforation cement methodology here on the Norwegian Continental Shelf. So that's kind of viewed as a mature solution here today, and definitively it's something new compared to the traditional section milling. We have also started to use more and more creeping shale, but it needs to be qualified and tested, and also Bison has been able to, one operator has started to qualify Bison for low temperature, low pressure solutions. So we see some progress, but still it's taking time.
It's taking time. Yeah, we're seeing the same. The perforation cement took a while to get traction in Australia. We're seeing a few applications now for bismuth where it's being used, and I think there's a growing sense, at least, of where its place is right now in the P&A. And my sense, rightly or wrongly, is that over the next few years, people will get more confident in how they use it, and maybe, I was going to say a little more adventurous, maybe a little bit more. They'll try some slightly different options as well with it. So it's going to be interesting to watch as it comes through for all of us. Yeah. So your role here then very much to look after the Norwegian operations and activities, but I imagine a large part of your time and what you do is also making sure that you're seeing what others are doing around the world and being part of those networks. Is that a big piece of what you have going on?
Yes, I think you can say so. Also, and that's also what's making the job quite interesting, because you get to meet people from different regions of the world, and you can follow also what is happening globally. And that is really helping us because we normally say that Norway is 10 years behind UK, for example. And that means that we can learn a lot from UK with respect to what they are doing now. So we have regular meetings with the NSTA. We've also we meet up with the HSE regularly, and we also try to attend conferences and seminars abroad to be able to stay updated and to establish contact with other regions, both with respect to the activity level, lessons learned from those P&A activities, and not least with respect to how they are doing with qualification on new technology.
And hopefully part of that will be you visiting us in Australia later this year.
That would be really nice. So I hope for hope for that.
Because certainly there's a lot going on. We have a lot going on in the well space, and our operators are our operators and our regulators are very interested in understanding what's happening in the rest of the world as well. So yeah, hopefully you'll make it in person, but if not, then at least I understand you've got some meetings coming up with NOPSEMA as well from our regulator, which is a really good step in that direction. So
Yeah, absolutely. No, we have a meeting with NOPSEMA this week, actually. So we are just preparing there for some knowledge exchange, because we believe that it's very important to share learnings across regions, especially when we are in this kind of time era and we are preparing for more decommissioning activity as going forward.
So as a last question then, is there something that particularly interests you or excites you about the decommissioning space? It's something that maybe you're seeing happening now, or something that you're expecting to see happen in the near future that you're particularly looking forward to seeing or being involved with?
I think it's always interesting to hear about also new ideas, innovation, and some of the new technology that vendors and operators are trying to pilot, test, and try out. And some years ago, we were kind of looking for this kind of melting technology that could just melt a barrier in place in the well. And of course, something like that would be really interesting to follow up. But I guess you can say that having a good network, both in Norway and globally, is also what's making me excited about working with plugging and abandonment, because that's also making you more aware of what is coming and what we need to prepare for, and also to try to stay updated with respect to learnings and be proactive when it comes to collaboration.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time. And I look forward to seeing you hopefully in Perth in a few months. And and keeping in touch.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to speak to you again. So hopefully we'll meet up later this year.
Absolutely. Thank you, Nina.
Thank you.